Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. So, guys, I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 30 years ago, this July, I changed my life. I was a dumbass 30 years ago, guys. And today, I can honestly say 30 years later, I'm a smartass. I'd much rather be one. So, guys, in 2016, I published my book, okay? And then 2020, I revised it. So if you go to archwaypublishing.com, you put my title in or my name, the book comes up. Guys, I'm also a nutritional health coach, and I'm also a recovery coach. And I would love to help anybody out there in need of help, okay? Having said that, so I have an incredible guest with me today, a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine. He is a local musician. You know what? Before I introduce him, I'm going to read a little poem, and then you'll hear his name, and you'll know all about him a little bit here, okay? Music is said to define who you are. The kind that you listen to really matters by far. Upbeat and positive are the notes you should hear, nothing with violence, or you'll live in fear. Your thoughts are wired to make you think. With what you do can make you sink. Keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap destroys how you feel. So many artists can sing high and low, but as years go by, they come and they go. All these years later, through all of their fame, new voices I've heard who are now in the game. My guest tonight that you need to meet, his music's the reason I gave him the seat. His name is Kevin McGowan. He writes, sings, and plays. He has his own style in his own special ways. His voice is amazing, I kid you not. Kevin needs to know he does have a shot. Your voice is so soothing, brings me way back. One of your records will be a gold plaque. There's so many genres, choices galore. There's hip-hop and rap, jazz, blues, and much more. Music is a must for you to keep your joy, especially if it's Kevin, because Kevin is now my boy. Kevin? Kevin, that's for you, sweetheart. Say hello to everyone.
Geri, thank you kindly. Hello, everyone out there listening. Thank you for being here. It's my pleasure to be here with you, Geri.
So listen, I absolutely love you. When I first met you, your voice was the reason I did the first interview with you. But I got to know you, and now it's so much more than that. You're such an incredible person, you and your wife. I just love what you guys do on your Zooms, bringing everybody together, keeping music alive, and especially through this past year. You've helped so many people. You've helped so many people stay healthy. What you've done with your, tell everybody your Zoom. What did you call it? Your Zoom.
There's a lot of folks from at my stage in life that are big Honeymooners fans. So it kind of took an unofficial, official name of it took combined with the Zoom room that we're in and the Honeymooners Bang Zoom. It became the Bang Zoom, and it's a song circle, so it's the Bang Zoom Circle of Friends, right? It's an ever-expanding circle of friends, new folks showing up. regularly, and we welcome them, and it's just wonderful for everyone to get together, take your mind off the news, take your mind off the fact that nobody wants you to be outside, and just have some fun for a few hours. So we do it twice a week.
Twice a week, right?
That's correct.
So, and I got the honors of hanging out with you a few times, and then we did something really cool. I got to read my poems. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was the big man's fundraiser back in the early January. Yeah, that was like a marathon event. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, and we met a lot of people there. We it was 10.5 hours of music and your poetry, and it was just fantastic. A great fundraising event.
It was beautiful. So thank you for all that you do out there. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, especially this past year, Kevin. What you've done was incredible.
Thank you for your...
So you know what? Let's play one of your songs first, and then I want to talk about your singing and songwriting, okay? But let's give everybody a huge treat. Okay, Ruben, baby, let's play The Great Empty, one of my faves.
In the secret back room of my mind, the place that no one else can find, I think about you all the time. I'll never forget that day you left. Just don't know how you could think this was best. Still to this day, so much regret. No one will ever know the part that can't let go. No one will ever see the great empty deep inside of me. My private prison, I'm doing time. This feels no less than a crime. No one will ever know the part that can't let go. No one will ever see the great empty deep inside of me. And if there ever comes a day when I couldn't make it right for you, I'll find a way to make it last. You'll find a love that couldn't be more true. No one will ever know the part that can't let go. No one will ever see the great empty deep inside of me. In the secret back room of my mind, the place that no one else can find. It's all you, all the time.
Favorite song you sing, because I think it just relates to me also. Tell everyone, like, about that song, and then I want to talk a little bit about your songwriting.
Okay. That particular song was, I many years ago, probably 20 years ago, I saw an interview, and I wrote this song probably 17, 18 years ago. I saw an interview right around that time, an older interview of Sting talking about when he had broken up with the Police, and talked about they had their biggest hit was Every Breath You Take, and it was this stalking kind of a song. And then when he went out on his own, his first hit was Free, Free, Set Them Free. He wanted to get away from that. And while they were playing Every Breath You Take, I said, I'm going to write a song. It's kind of like a songwriting exercise then, if you will. I want to write a song about like an obsession, but not physical stalking, an emotional obsession, someone who something has happened, and no matter what he or she does, they just can't seem to get past it, and it consumes them. And that was the genesis of that song. So, I mean, I wrote it with my great friend Joe Beggy, who lives in Ireland, my best friend I met him in the Bronx back in the day. And I played it for him back and forth as I was working on it. He said, hey, do this, try this, change it here, change it there. So he added a lot of height to the song, in my opinion. He elevated the song by the changes he brought to it, and what he thought was, okay, now that's okay, but try it this way. And it made such a world of difference. So that's kind of how that song evolved, as a response to watching what somebody else was doing. And I've got a lot of songs that are like that, as a response to something else. I hear something I liked what he was doing. I want to kind of do something like that. It didn't, and so that was what the seed, I guess, if you will, an emotionally broken person who can't get past what's consuming them and doesn't know what to do. So,
that song, I mean, a lot of people can relate to that, okay? Probably everyone in some regard, right? In some regard. And I think that's why it's such a beautiful song. People need to be able to relate, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, for them to appreciate something.
You're right, Jerry. I agree with that. Yeah, I like every song, I want to relate to it as well. And that I know exactly, I know myself personally what I was trying to convey there. It's not, I've got stuff in my life that, some I think about it too much maybe, so that's okay. So
tell us a little bit about when your songwriting began and when your singing began.
Well, the singing for me began in grade school in the grammar school choir. So I missed the tryouts for the choir for whatever reason. I think I was sick. And then when I came back, they still had the tryouts and stuff going on. So they're pretty much done. And I wasn't signed up, but my teacher got me down there, and I tried out and I got on the school choir. So I would say that was in 62, and then 62, 63. And then, the Beatles hit, and it sort of, it took off from there. I mean, there was a lot of music around. I remember Elvis, and I remember his hits, and I remember the first song that I can remember in my life was Bobby Darin's Dream Lover, and I remember Splish Splash, and I remember some of the Buddy Holly stuff even, and I liked it and listened to it. My dad had a bar in the Inwood section of Manhattan, and every month the jukebox guy would come in, and we'd wait for the jukebox guy to give my dad the old records. He'd bring them home, and we'd play all the old records. So music and my parents came from the old country, so there was a lot of music that they brought with them. So there was always something going on.
So can we talk about that jukebox real quick?
Sure.
All right. Well, I was born in 61, but I remember jukeboxes, and I remember my aunt had a bar when I was a kid, and there was a jukebox. So I guess I knew this, but I never really thought about it until you just said this. They would actually come and switch records. There were real records in there, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. And they would take the records out and put the new ones in, right?
That's correct.
And did they give you guys the old records?
They gave my dad the records, and he brought them home, and we played the records. It was great.
That is so cool. Think about that.
Well, I mean, some of the ones that jump right out at me right now are There's a Moon Out Tonight, the Capris.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of, Johnny Tillotson songs, even some older, like Patty Page stuff,
But it's just so cool to think they actually had the records in the machine. And then when you put the money in it, it flipped down and it played.
Yeah, so now I'm going to guess. You swipe a card and it goes up to the internet, it gets a song, it plays it digitally, and that's it.
This is crazy. All right. So would you like to sing a song live for us now?
Sure.
I would love it. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love listening to you sing.
You're very kind, Jerry. Thanks. Let me get the right spot.
And what's the name of this song going to be?
This song is I Get Distracted by the Rain. Where's my cable?
Okay.
So, this is I was this past summer, there was even though the whole music scene is in a coma, there was outdoor music and stuff, and a friend of ours, Bob Kearns, was running someone down at Staygold and Howell, and we were all outdoors and we're under an overhang, and it was great. And while I was playing my set, the rain just came down. Didn't get wet or anything, but I sort of it was just coming down so hard, and I was paying so much attention to the rain, I lost track of where I was in the song. I didn't know where I was. So I finished up that song. It was my last song. And when I finished, I said to Bob, "Hey, Bob, I got distracted by the rain." He says, "That's a good title for a song." And I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right." So I took that idea and I made it into a story about some mope who it couldn't be me, of course, who can't focus on the important things, and he's focused on all the things that are meaningless, and it gets in the way of him having a life. And it's called I Get Distracted by the Rain.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Go for it.
I get distracted by the rain. I wasn't thinking right when we had that fight. Sometimes clouds get in my brain. I sure lost my head, said things I shouldn't have said. Never meant to cause you any pain. I get distracted by the rain. I went out of my mind, wish I could turn back time. I swear it won't happen again. I said it all before, just let me say once more. I think I went a bit insane. I know you don't like to complain. I get distracted by the rain. I'm always looking for a second chance. Wish I knew how to explain. I lost sight of us so along the way. Seems I never know just what to say. I get distracted by the rain. Can't see how you don't walk out now. We've been over rough terrain. I'm on bended knee, please don't give up on me. I accept all of the blame. I know my excuse is mighty lame. But I get distracted by the rain. I get distracted by the rain.
Kevin, that's beautiful.
Thank you, Jerry.
I mean, that is really beautiful. I'm writing this down because I might write a poem by the rain.
All right.
And I will give you the credit. That is so cool.
Thanks,
That
Jerry.
is so beautiful, man. So let me ask you something. When did you first start writing music? How old were you? Or writing songs, I should say.
Yeah. So I'd say my first song, I think I was, when I started to learn to play the guitar, and actually I started as a bass guitarist. And I was 15, yeah.
Okay.
And not that I was writing a lot, but I said, I know how to play these notes and chords now, so let me see if I can kind of write a song for it. So that's when it started for me. So.
Very beautiful, very cool. So now let's talk about your song, My Town, because we're going to play that. Tell us all about that song, because I love that song as well.
Yeah, so as I have a few songs that kind of would fall in the conveyor belt of life things, and this would be one of them, right? It's a journey through the old neighborhood, actually, for me, is what it is.
Oh.
And everybody in there, everybody mentioned is a real person, and every incident that I talk about, every depiction is something real. Like as an example, I have a line there. I'm going with Mr. Kenny to midnight mass. So this was a Christmas 1965, and I was still in grade school, and every Christmas Eve, me and a few of the guys from the neighborhood, we go around through the various alleyways and courtyards of the apartment buildings, everyone that we could get to, and we sing Christmas carols all day on Christmas Eve. And this one particular Christmas Eve, we were planning on, well, after we did all this all day, we said, you know what, we'll go to 6 a.m. mass tomorrow. Let's meet on the corner here at 5:45, and we'll hit 6 a.m. So it was about 10:30 at night, and I couldn't sleep, so I called up my buddy to say, hey, listen, how about we go to midnight mass? I'm still awake. So he was asleep, and nobody in his family would wake him up. But his dad, who was the president of the Holy Name Society, got on the phone and said, listen, why don't you come down with me to midnight mass? I'm in charge of collections, and I could use you, and come to midnight mass with me. So that was Mr. Kenny, and I did. And I had just gotten new Beatle boots for Christmas. And my mom said, don't wear the new shoes tonight, You ain't broken in yet, and you're like 3 inches off the ground here. So I said, well, what do old people know? So I put the shoes on, and it's about a mile walk to church, and by halfway there, I could hardly walk, and Mr. Kenny pretty much had to help me hobble along as I got to the church. So that's that line, going with Mr. Kenny to midnight mass. I could hardly walk in my Beatle boots, and that's true. And then we had a lot of great folks in the neighborhood, and I tried to capture the essence of what it's like to grow up in I wouldn't call it an inner city, but they were, and I wouldn't call them tenements, but there were a lot of apartment buildings, and everybody lived straight up. You know how it is. You're from New York, and you get it. And so there was a fella who lived in our building, Pete Brady, and he was about 7 feet tall. If this were today, he'd have been a basketball superstar. But back in the 50s and 60s, he was just a regular guy that a lot of times took flack for his height. But the girls loved him because he stayed at home and he took care of his mother. He was a great guy. So Pete Brady was on the stoop every day, and he watched everything going on. And somebody's bike got stolen one time, and he happened to be around and figured out who it was, and he went to that neighborhood and got the bike back and brought it back. He was like the watcher, from the stoop, whereas the older women and the mothers were watching all from the windows. He was on the stoop.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I have a scrapbook page I made. My cousin found a photo of my mother when she was like 40 maybe, from Long Island City, hanging out the window of our apartment building. My dad owned it. It was 6 families, and her sister lived across the street. Her other sister lived upstairs, so we were all there. And I made a scrapbook page of Lucy hanging out the window.
Nice.
They would have pillows on their feet, on their knees, and they would have towels, and they would lean over the window, and they would.
That was like, you know how we look at Facebook all day? That was their Facebook. They were out the window looking at what was going on.
They watched us, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Ruben, let's play My Town. Okay. We're going to play My Town.
I know it's hard to picture the Bronx as a town, but that's where Mom and Dad settled down when they came to America after the war. It's where my brother and sisters were born, where so many great lifetime friendships were formed. Everything was the Yankees, Tallentine, and John's candy store. Running up and down 4 flights of stairs 10 times a day. It never bothered me then, but it would kill me today. I knew every face behind every door. Mr. Burns way up there on the fire escape. Under that shirt I think he is wearing a cape. Mr. Kirshner playing cards down at the corner store. Going with Mr. Kenny to midnight mass. I could hardly walk in my Beatle boots, boy, till we ever left. That's the way it was in my town. Just walked in the door and Larry's on the telephone. Says he's putting together a band of his own. He's gonna play drums, he wants me to play bass guitar. There's Pete Brady on the front stoop day after day. He never said much, that wasn't his way, but he kept an eye out for us all. Denise is crowned queen of the prom. Jimmy's $1 million looks got all the girls carrying on. That's the way it was for me back there and then in my town. We never had to lock the door. We were never afraid, and we never wanted more. We never thought that this world would end, and when it did, we'd never see the likes of it again. We all moved on some time ago, but every now and then, when I'm feeling low, I find myself thinking about the Bronx and the candy store. It's the town where I learned about life. It's the town where I met my wife. It's the town I will cherish forevermore. Pete Brady will still be standing watching his quiet way. Jimmy Hopkins' movie star looks will be making every girl's day. That's the way it will always be in my memory, at home in my town.
You just made my heart melt. I'm going to show you the photo. I
Yeah,
pulled up
please.
the page I made. I want to show you something. So that was my mother at the top when she in the 60s. Me and my cousin are standing on our stoop about 15 years ago. I went to see the building. And my brother's name is Anthony, and we found this cartoon.
Oh, is that the Prince Spaghetti Anthony cartoon?
Yes.
Excellent.
And you just
That's
melted
great.
my heart. You just melted my heart. Wow. So it was the
Great.
best growing up back then in New York. It was absolutely the best.
For sure. For sure.
So
Yeah.
so now let's talk about another song. Okay. I have them in order as to like, I love all your songs, but the reason why, like The Great Empty, you know what that meant to me. Now, My Town, I grew up in New York, you know. Neurotic. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I have a cousin who's a filmmaker. He was making a movie about these two guys and two girls in a zany weekend who worked on Wall Street and spent the weekend partying out at the Hamptons. The movie was called Neurotic, and he asked me if I wanted to contribute a song to it. So I was working on a few different two different songs for it, and then I decided to mash them together. And so I tried to capture, maybe too subtle or not. I mentioned the Bulls and the Bears in there and a few other things, and looking back and getting ahead of yourself and all that stuff. But I tried to capture the sense of it. The song itself might be a bit neurotic. There's a lot of chord changes in it. Like I said, I mashed them both together. My cousin says, well, you got a lot of chords in that song. I said, yeah, it's a touch neurotic itself. But so that was the essence of that song. The film was filmed and it was made, it was written and everything, but nothing ever became of it. And that's about 20 years ago. So
wait, isn't there an opportunity to maybe like revise it and maybe bring it to life?
You know, he's moved on into other things in his life since then, and it was a nice experience. We had a lot of fun doing it. When I got to see some of the outtakes from it, it was very exciting for me, and it was nice to be part of it.
Oh, I would try and get in touch with him and say, let's get it out there. But all right, Ruben, let's play Neurotic, because I think a lot of us are.
Sure.
Yep.
Living in a neurotic world, I can't tell if the glass is half empty or half full. Looking for hidden pearls, doing my best, out there running with the bulls. And every time I think that I just might be getting ahead, this world runs me down and I am left for dead. Living life neurotic supreme, I can't figure out what anything means. Running from the bears in my dreams, acting it out and living life scene by scene. And every time my hopes are high and it looks like I'm getting ahead, this world runs over me and leaves me for dead. But just one big hit, and I know I'll be rolling in bread. At times it feels like my life is racing out of control. There's a constant battle that rages way down in my soul. Oh, if I can get some distance, no more path of least resistance, well then I know that there's a way to come back from yesterday. And every time my hopes are high and I just might be getting ahead, this world runs me down and I am left for dead. But just one big hit and I know I'll be rolling in bread. At times it feels like my life is racing out of control. There's a constant battle that rages way down in my soul. Oh, if I can get some distance, no more path of least resistance, well then I know that there's a way to come back from yesterday. Searching for the neurotic cure, I need to take a hard look and find out just what I'm living for. Redemption is never sure. Hey, I need a break, and sometimes less is more. And every time my hopes are high and I think I'm getting ahead, this world runs over me and leaves me for dead. Yeah, but just one big hit, and I know I'll be rolling in bread.
Absolutely love it. So why don't
God bless
you,
you, Jerry. You're the best. Thank you.
why don't you grace us with another live song and tell us about it?
I unmuted here already. Okay. So the title of this song is my last guitar, and everybody who plays guitar, thinks about guitar and owns guitar, always thinks about the next guitar, and
Okay.
so this is part of therapy for me. I wrote this song for therapy as an addicted guitar player, as an addicted guitar purchaser. It's called My Last. Yeah.
Wait, I have to say something real quick. I'm glad you explained that to me, because I was thinking it was a sad thing that was going to be your last guitar.
Oh, this is my last. Yeah, very good.
Guitar.
The last
Right.
guitar I'm going to purchase.
Okay.
That's the idea.
All right.
It doesn't quite work out that way, but. I love them all, each and every one. I hold them close, and we have lots of fun. The long ones and the short ones, with 4 strings or with 6. When I'm feeling down and out, they provide the fix. I buy them and I sell them, have different colors of the same. Try not to neglect a single one, and for each I have a name. When I line them up for pictures, they never once complain. When I hold them in my hands, I'm always entertained. I think about them day and night, dream about them in my sleep. Can never get enough of them, boy am I indeed. Every time I bring a new one home, I say this one is the last. But then in just a short time, that feeling starts to pass. Oh, this will be my last guitar. I've said that before. This will be my last guitar. Who am I kidding? I'll always want one more. There's Gordon's, Martin's, Gibson's, Gills and Taylors too. I've had 1 or 2 of each of them, just to name a few. I send them off to new homes. They never call, they never write. Sometimes I see them out and about. It always makes my night. So this might be my last guitar. Maybe that one over there. This could be my last guitar, but I might need a spare. So this will be my last guitar. It's the best guitar I got. This'll be my last guitar. Who am I kidding? I already know it's not.
Listen, that's really cool. Okay, I'm laughing because,
That's therapy for me.
but you're incredible. I'm an author, right? I'm a poet. When I hear your songs, that you wrote these songs, okay, I crack up because it's like you could be this incredible poet too. Did you ever try writing poetry?
I have, yeah.
Listen, I would mess with it. I just love it. All right, so now let's talk about Pictures in My Mind.
Okay.
Okay, tell us about that song.
This is another kind of another journey through life, conveyor belt of life thing. I'd say it might very well be the most personal song I've ever written.
Okay.
And sometimes when I'm performing it, it grabs me. And there's times I've kind of faked it just to get through it, and at times I ended it sooner just because of how I think back as I'm speaking the memory and how the picture in my mind from the words that I'm singing grabbed me. And we all know what that is. So, but to classify the song, it's the most personal song I've ever written. It talks about events and things in as I work through life, and as you get older, not you but me, you find yourself thinking about. I do anyway. I find myself thinking about events in my life that took place, and they find a deeper place in my heart, and that's where that song came from.
Well, I just turned 60, so I understand, and I'm going to tell you something, Kevin. Well, I have a question for you, and then I want to tell you something about what you were saying. I've been listening to a lot of incredible young musicians, up-and-coming indie artists, musicians, right? And I've been interviewing a lot of them. And when I first started and I was asked to interview some of them, I thought, what could we ever have in common? Well, let me tell you something. Even these incredible young people in their 20s, I interviewed someone who was only 20 years old, and I interviewed someone recently, 19, that gave me more insight than any 56-year-old singer, and I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to this, one was a female, one was a male, and I remember saying to them, how do you guys are talking like you're 60 years old? You know what I mean? Like, it was just incredible. So when you say, like, the pictures in your mind, I guess because you get emotional with the song, were there good pictures and bad pictures that you refer to?
Everything is good.
Everything is good. Okay. All right, good. All right, so, Ruben, let's play Pictures in My Mind. Pictures in my mind, baby. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Another incredible song. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. I'm sure it's coming soon. Ruben, can you hear us? Okay, I hope we don't have audio issues again like we did a few minutes back. Let me text Ruben. Can hear us? Guys, give us a minute. We had some tech issues earlier. It took us like a good half hour. We ran a half hour late, and I'm thinking we might have an issue right now.
So, Jerry, while he's working on it, I'll just say the pictures, right? The events and the memories. It's there's no bad memories, right? We kind of erase over time the bad ones, but the sentimental nature of the good memories take you back there, and it just elicits an emotion that it just grabs you. That's kind of what I mean by it,
I understand. And, I'm going to tell you something. My daughter did the speech for me when I got inducted in 2019 into the Hall of Fame. And she wrote something on that speech that I'll never forget, and I didn't even realize that she felt. She said a lot of people might say my mother made wrong decisions when she was younger, but she didn't. Every decision she made brought her to where she is today.
There you go.
And I was crying. I couldn't believe that my daughter thought that.
Very good. It's so true, though. It's absolutely true.
So true. So, Kevin, you know what? Why don't you sing? I don't know what's happening, and I hope everything's okay in the studio. Why don't you sing another song or two? Let's do that for the audience.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It was just St. Patrick's Day, so I'm going to do an Irish song.
Let's have it.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are lying. 'Tis you, must go, I must buy. But come me back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valleys hush and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when ye come and all the flowers are lying, and I am dead, as dead I well may be, you come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave for me, and I shall hear those soft you tread above me, and oh, my breath it will warmer to be, and you will bend and tell me that you love me. I will sleep in peace until you come to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. He did have a tech issue. Everything's okay now, guys. Thanks for being patient, but it was worth it listening to you sing that song live. And you're right, St. Patty's Day. What an honor, right, for that. Beautiful. So we're going to hear now One Wish. Ruben play One Wish, and then we're going to have Kevin talk about it. Let's do that.
So, okay.
All right, let's play. And then
Don't you know me? We were in love once. Can't you remember how it felt when we first danced? My life ended the moment you left me. All I ever do is think about what could be. If I had one wish, I'd wish that you could love me. To love me just like before, to love me forevermore. I came a long way to tell you I still love you. Now there's just one thing that I need for you to do. Just give me one wish, and I'll wish for you to love me just like before, to love me forevermore. It's so hard to know if this is the right thing to do. I hope you can tell me, baby, baby, we're not through. If I had one wish, I'd wish that you could love me. To love me just like before, to love me forevermore. It's so hard to know if this is the right thing to do. I need you to tell me, baby, baby, we're not through. I just can't get over not being together. My heart is broken with the thought that you're gone forever. If I had one wish, I'd wish for you to love me just like before, to love me forevermore. Oh, please grant me one wish, and I'll wish for you to love me just like before, to love me forevermore.
So tell us a little bit about that one.
I wrote that song in 2000, so 21 years almost. And so yeah, I actually liked it when I wrote it, you know. A lot of stuff I write I don't much care for when I'm doing it, but this one I did, and it motivated me to want to make a CD. I had friends making their own CDs at the time, so I figured, well, I actually really like this song. I'd like to record it, and I'd like to make a CD. And so I went into a studio and did the CD. This was the first song that we recorded, and I wanted it. My goal for when I was writing it was I want to write like a Beatlesque song that had a chorus that was like Nowhere Man. That was the goal. Now you didn't hear that in this, because when I first recorded it, I had all the backgrounds like the Nowhere Man chorus, but when we were done with it, I didn't like it, so I just kept it off the CD and I put it on the side. And when I was working on my second CD, I redid it completely different with the pedal steel guitar and sort of a smooth country kind of thing to it. and that's why it came out that way. But I wrote it as an homage to Nowhere Man on the Beatles. That was the goal. That was the impetus anyway. Yeah.
Amazing. So now Pictures in My Mind. Okay? Now we'll play that. Let's do it. Yes.
I've got so many pictures in my mind. There's a movie show and it's playing all the time. Right now I see myself as a young man. Thought I was so cool when I was playing in a band. Next up's when I first met my wife. I was so nervous I couldn't speak to her all night. As I watch it now, it warms me deep inside. The scene is playing where she becomes my bride. There's mom and dad working hard all their lives. The toughest times brought out the best they had inside. The four of us are laughing with them while we're playing cards. There was so much love, we didn't even know that times were hard. When I watch, it doesn't make me sad. These pictures in my mind show me there's still such a great life to be had. God, I'm the luckiest man that ever lived. Think I'll go inside and sit down, close my eyes and watch it all come back around. Here's my children being brought into this world. So much joy from a little boy and a little girl. No fast forwards, no rewind. I just sit and watch these pictures in my stare at them all as my life unwinds. And now the credits are rolling past. Everyone I ever knew, their faces are scrolling fast. I love them all, each and every one. I'll love them long after my time here is done. I've got so many pictures in my mind.
Listen, that's so beautiful. That's
Thanks,
so
Gary.
beautiful. You know, everybody has pictures in their mind.
That's right.
And, you know, like I want to share something with everybody out there listening because, you know, I like to have some motivational stuff with all my shows, no matter what the topic is or who the guests are. And, you know, Kevin, sometimes it's really funny. Like I'll have a guest that I'll think, oh, it's going to be a boring show or, you know, this or that. And the stuff that they say blows me away and the show becomes incredible. So I love having inspirational stuff. That song, everyone on this planet can relate to, you know, and again, good, bad, or indifferent, everyone can relate to it. But you said something profound. You said, but when we think back, and I'm not talking about horrendous situations, guys, I'm just talking about a normal life with, you know, hurtful things happening to all of us, you know, growing up, whatever, we do smile at a lot of it. Even, you know, teen love, you know, they broke our heart. But when we think about them when we're older, we do smile, you know.
Right.
So that song is so powerful and so beautiful. And I want to thank you for that song.
Thank you, Jerry. And your daughter said it right too. Everything on the journey is important to make you who you are today, right? There were no mistakes. It's all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
Right.
Our Life. We're going to play that song next. Talk about that first.
Yeah, so that's another one that would fall into like a category like this, a conveyor belt of life things, right? It's Joanne and me. It's our life, and it started here. I can't see my hand. It started here. My hand is under my chin. Remember the Odd Couple? I'm fed up to here. My hand is under my chin. So it's it started here and it went here, and you know what? It's still going, and the best is yet to come. And that's kind of where that song goes.
Okay. So listen, that's so cool. And you put some humor to that. And when she sees this, she'll smack you in the back of the head, and, she'll be like, it started here, Jer, but, So, all right, Ruby, baby, let's play Our Life. Let's do it.
Starting out, we didn't have a clue what life was about. We got married very young. At times we were all worn out. Just two kids out in the world, thinking we knew where to go. How it lasted all this time, I don't think I'll ever know. It should have tore us both apart when we broke each other's heart. This is our life. Then the children came. We didn't have a plan. We dealt with it day to day. We lived in it. They made us better friends than we had ever known. The purest form of love, now it would be our home. They grew up fast, they grew up strong. The years flew by and they moved on. This is our life. This is our life. Taking care of mom and dad and telling them goodbye. No way to make sense of it. The only answer to why is this is our life. This is our life. Growing up, I never had a clue what life was about. It seems I'm all grown up. I still ain't got much figured out. Now there's only you and me. This time belongs to us. All that pain and misery, we'll leave it in the dust. You know we still don't have a plan, but we'll go forward hand in hand, 'cause this is our life. This is our life. This is our life. This is our life.
Listen, I love that song, and I'm giggling over here because I'm thinking about our lives from back then until now and everything in between. And we gotta laugh about a lot of it, even if it was painful.
The painful
we
stuff
heal.
is the most important stuff to laugh at, right?
That's how we heal, right, Kev?
That's right. Yeah.
And guys, I'm not talking about horrendous abuse. Please don't twist what I'm saying here. I'm just talking about painful things that we go through in life, like common things most of us have gone through. You know what I mean? We've got to look back and kind of giggle and smile about it.
Yes, Jerry, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
We heal that way.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. So I want you to talk about When I Was a Young Man, and we're going to play that one next. Tell us.
Okay. But I neglected to mention in our life, that was another one like The Great Empty with my great friend Joe Beggy. I had it and I played it for him, and he said, listen, change this chord here, go here with this, and resolve back to this point, and it made a huge difference in the song. I want to give him his...
Wait, I want to ask you about him real quick. He's in Ireland now?
Yeah.
He lives there? Is he Irish?
Yeah. He's Irish. He's from Ireland. I met him in the Bronx in the early 72, and then he went back. I'm still in touch with him. Whenever I go visit, he picks me up at the airport. He doesn't live too far from Dublin. Drives me around to see my family. He's just the greatest guy. Yeah.
So your family is there as well?
Yeah. So I'm the first generation here. So there's a large family on both sides, both parents in Ireland. Yeah.
So, so because Ellie Shaw, she's on Facebook, and you've got to friend her. She will share your music everywhere. Ellie Shaw. Okay, I love her. She's from Ireland, and she gets my stuff all over Ireland. You got to let your buddy know to friend her too, and say we're all connected.
Perfect, Jerry. I'll do that. Absolutely.
Amazing. She will love this. She will love this. So, all right. So now, When I Was a Young Man, talk about that.
So I wrote this when I was a young man. I was 24 when I wrote this, and the concept was I'm thinking at a distant point in my life that, needless to say, is not the point I'm at now. It was probably 25 years ago. But when I'm 24, I'm thinking, 48 is old. So and when I look back on my life, what will I take away from it, and what will be those things that will, that I'll be thinking about and will be impactful for me and as I move through it. So I wrote it, like I said, when I was 24. I was envisioning a songwriting exercise. Envision myself as an older man thinking back on my younger days and then bringing me to the point where I am at that point. So I wrote it in 70.
Wait, I have a question. Hold on. I have a question for you real quick. So when you were in your 20s, you actually wrote it?
I was 24 when I wrote this song in 77.
Okay, hold that thought. So when you were 24, you were talking about being a young man as if you were older.
That's correct. I was imagining myself as a 50-year-old man looking back on my life, and
oh my gosh.
what the things my parents, when I was young, they weren't smart. Now they were right about everything, or even many years, decades ago, they had it all figured out and
love it.
Didn't appreciate it at all. So
no, I love that. You are right. I think back and I'm like, and here's the best part about it. They didn't have Google. They didn't have what we have now, information. They knew it all. And how? I sit back and I'm like,
they had something that we're sorely lacking now. They had common sense.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so I have to play this for everyone. When I Was a Young Man, Ruben. Let's do it, baby.
When I You're not that young, don't waste all your time. But I laughed, never paid him no mind. The years went by so fast, I turned around and they were gone. So was my father, though the memory carries on. I can still hear him telling me, trust my age, not your youth. I've been around, wouldn't deny you the truth. Well, I know you only wanted me to be something more than I was gonna be. When I was a young man, that was something that I couldn't see. I never listened much back then. Wish I could do it over. Wish I could do it again. I can almost hear him saying, you've got time, get it back on track. You can't move forward when you're looking back. Now I know you only wanted me to be something more than I was gonna be. When I was a young man, that was something that I couldn't see. I never listened much back then. Wish I could do it over. Wish I could do it again. Now my life moves quickly. I have a son of my own. I try to teach him all the things that my father passed along. And I think I hear him saying, don't give up, don't be like me. Make him something more than you think he will be. When I was a young man, I was lying on my feet. Took all I could from winning, never learned from defeat.
Kev,
Hey, Jerry.
so I have a question for you. I think I'm in love with that song based on you doing it at 24. But I have a question for you. Did you also record it at 24? Was that you singing that young?
No, I didn't record that until 2000. That's the title track from my first CD. 2000, 2001.
All right.
That's when I recorded it, yeah.
So now I have a question. Have you thought about a part 2 to that song at your age and saying, when I was a young man?
That's there you go. There's a good exercise for a song, right? There's a good one.
I think you need to do this. You need to do a part 2.
I call it Now That I'm an Old Man. Yeah.
Listen, now that I'm older, Now that I'm older, whatever you want to call it, but why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to do it, Kev.
Good idea, Jerry. Excellent.
Because that to me is so beautiful, and I can't imagine what would go on in your mind now and really looking back and then doing part 2 of that song.
There you go. Food for
All right.
thought. I made a note so I don't forget. Thanks,
I can't
Jerry.
wait. And I want to be the first one other than your family to hear it. I cannot wait now. All right. So now, See It Through. Tell us about that song.
Yeah, so See It Through was another songwriting exercise. And so if you remember, if you're a Seinfeld fan.
Oh my gosh. I own the whole thing.
Love it. Me too. Can't get enough of
Okay.
it. Every episode is fresh every time I see it. But there was the episode where Kramer, the 3 episodes, Kramer left and went to Hollywood, remember?
Yeah.
And he's on the set like he owns it. And he's telling these aspiring actors and all this stuff about, when I don't write, when I write stuff and when I put colors down and I direct by colors. And I'm thinking, and then he got thrown off the set. It was just great. But I wanted to write a song that was a gray song based on that skit. Well, not depicting that skit, but I said, I'm going to write if I want to write a song about a mood, a color for a mood, this was the song that came out of that motivation. There was really nothing more to it than that. It was just a song about, hey, things ain't going right. I'm going to have to give up, and that's it. I'm moving on, and see you later. It's all level. There's none of the highs and lows. It's just very boring.
So you got some inspiration from Seinfeld with
I
Kramer.
directed colors. I said, I want to write a song
Yeah.
in color. I'll take gray as the color, yeah.
That is so cool because I own all the episodes of that and Friends. So yes, and I met Jerry. I got to see him live and everything years ago
Awesome.
in Vegas. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
greatest show ever. All right, so let's play that song. Let's have it. See It Through. Gray.
When I look into your eyes, what I see is no surprise. You don't look at me the way I want you to see me every day. There's not too much about my life that I could say is going right, and I'm hoping you could be someone who sees the better side of me. Am I asking too much from you? Can we find a way to see through? It's only been for a short while, but it sure seems like a lifetime. I've been kicking around this town, doing what I hope would turn it all around. Am I asking too much of you? Can't we find a way to see it through? Every day's a new day. New days feel like old days. Some way to find ourselves again, push through all the pain and get back to me and you. They feel like old days, and we need some way to find ourselves again, push through all the pain and get back to me and you. I guess it's really no surprise. There's no more light left in your eyes, so we'll pull the curtain down. The show has closed, it's headed out of town. And someday I might say to you, there was no other way to see it through.
Man, listen, I could listen to you sing all day. No, but I mean that.
Great, thank you.
Oh my goodness, you have such an incredible, soothing voice. So beautiful, Kev, so beautiful. So now we're coming to the close of the show. What I would like to do is give my thanks and say what I need to say. Then I'm going to give you an opportunity to say whatever it is you want everyone out there to hear, any inspiration, anything you'd like to say. And then do you think you could take us out singing live?
Sure.
All right. So, guys, I want to thank everyone out there listening. I want to thank Ruben behind the scenes, Hamilton Radio today, because we had so many issues, tech issues, but he brought it home. Okay, here we are, guys, and thank you all for kind of hanging out through this. We ran a little late, so we added some time on, and here we are. I want to thank Kevin. Listen, first and foremost, for being my guest again. I absolutely adore you. Again, I love what you're doing for everyone out there with your music. I love what you've done this year, making people smile and keeping them happy through this terrible year we've had. And your music is one of a kind to me because every single one of your songs I relate to. Like the average person relates to all your music. And, you know, you make my heart like feel really good. Like I get all these good little feelings, you know what I mean? It's nothing sad, it's emotional, but in a good way. And I want to thank you for that, Kev. I just love you. I love your wife. I love what you're doing, and I love your music, and I want to thank you.
Jerry, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity, your graciousness, and just the whole style of this whole event is very uplifting. You know, it's a great thing. I'm happy to be here. I thank everybody who's still here. Thank you so much for listening to us. The time, again, I mean, the time flew by.
It did.
It was a lot of fun. You're very kind to me, Jerry, and I appreciate that.
Oh, I love you, Kev. All right. Why don't you take us home, baby?
I'll close this out. I mean, as I listen to some of those songs, I don't listen to myself that much. Matter of fact, I'm not listening to myself now. Who am I? But it's, I say, okay, some of these songs, you know, they're love lost kind of songs. So I'm gonna play a song that I wrote to be like a 50s high school dance song, and I wrote this for my wife. It's called "The Love That I Live."
Wait, it's called what?
"The Love That I Live." I'll play the Reader's Digest version so that.
"The Love That I Live." Okay, and real quick, you want to tell us a little bit more about it before you sing it?
Yeah, this is just it's a 50s kind of the kind of dance in high school, if they even have those dances anymore. But back in my day, you know, for the slow dance, you know, this was that kind of song where you found the girl you wanted to be with and you spent 3 minutes just having the best dance you ever had.
And you wrote it.
And I wrote this song, yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Love That I Live.
Okay.
When my spirit is empty and life's feeling old, you pour yourself on me and fill up my soul. When you tell me You love me, that's what I want to hear you say. It's the love that I live every day. When anything goes wrong, it isn't long before it's right. Yours is the light that brightens the darkest of my nights. I love it that you love me, and to you I want to say, you're the love that I live every day. Oh, I would die for your love every day of my life. There is nothing I want more than for you to be my wife. And there will never come a time when I throw it all away. It's the love that I live every day. And it will never, never end. You are my life. There's only love again and again. Oh, living your love is all I ever wanna do. There is nothing else in this world. I just want to be with you. Another time when I've met and embraced the way. It's the love that I live every day. You're the love that I live every day. Thank you, Jerry. You're the greatest. Thank you kindly.